Hey, it's Brock here with Rock Hill Farms, and today I'm going to grind out a tree stump with my tractor. First thing I need to do is switch trailers because I've got the dump trailer on right now and the stump grinder makes the tractor too long to haul in it. So I've got to switch over to the gooseneck and we'll see how long everything takes. So I've got hundreds of videos showing me do jobs for people with the tractor or the skid steer, and most of the time I only show the most interesting part of the job. But that's not very informative for someone who's considering going into this type of work, and they need to see everything, and that includes time spent setting up machines and changing attachments. And so that's what I'm going to try to capture in this video. Last year I did a lot of stump grinding jobs, but for whatever reason, this is the first one I've done this year. So I'm digging the stump grinder out of the weeds and I need to get it set up in the shed. Out of any attachment I have, this stump grinder has always been the most difficult to hook up. For one, it's 940 pounds, so it's hard to manipulate. Number two, it's too tall to be quick hitch compatible without a bunch of fabrication. So another thing is, I've got two rear hydraulics, and that means since the stump grinder takes two hydraulics, I can't use my hydraulic top link. I have to switch back to this manual link. A few things that I've done to make hooking this up easier is I've learned before putting this on the tractor, extend it all the way out. You've got these ribs right here that are kind of like a safety point. Don't run your top link out further than that. So I run both sides a little bit past that, just to hook it up, and then I run it back down. Okay, next thing that was a real hassle was you have to extend the draft arms all the way out to the side on both sides to get it around the grinder. And that was a problem until I went to these telescoping sway links. I don't know if we can see those in there. But now, rather than turnbuckles, I pull a pin here and it's got all this range of movement. So I just pull those pins, get it hooked up, and then put them back in. So that's a pretty good upgrade. So another thing to think about, it's a lot easier to hook up a PTO shaft when it's in a straight line. And the way this is set up, it's kind of at an angle when you hook up to it. So it's a good reminder to do what I should be doing anyway, is to clean and grease this PTO shaft for easier hookup. And I need to grease the whole stump grinder because it hasn't been used in a while, so it definitely is due for some grease. Hooking this thing up used to really leave me cussing, and I'm working on figuring out those little tricks to make it easier. One of those was these telescoping sway links. Another is the telescoping draft arms, which allows me to pull this in and out. So I didn't have to try to get perfectly lined up. I need to be between perfectly lined up and 4 or 5 inches too far forward. Then I set the arms just a little bit too low because you can always lift them. But if they're too high, you can't really do anything about that. Now I think I'll go ahead and hook up the PTO before I do the top link. Now, splines aren't lined up between the PTO shaft and the PTO. Got two solutions there. Sometimes you can rotate the PTO shaft and it will turn your implement head. In this case, the cutting wheel's up against those logs, it can't turn. So instead of trying to free that up, I'm going to turn the PTO. And I can do that because I have a mid-mount mower, mid PTO. I put the lever on mid. That allows me to spin the back and get it lined up. Okay, now we're free spinning here. Now the PTO is locked in. The last challenge is getting enough reach on this to hook it up. By extending this out, I'm within half an inch. See if I can extend it just enough. Yeah, we're extended all the way out where it'll reach. I've never had this work out before where I could extend this out and put the pin in. Normally, I have a big fight to get this top link hooked up. What I did this time was I parked the stump grinder on those logs so it can't rock forward. If I'd parked this on flat ground, it would have sagged and it would be way down there. And even if you extend this top cylinder, it still won't push up far enough. So I feel like I've really solved a lot of the problems that made this so difficult to hook up. Now all I have to do is hook up the hydraulic lines. I keep saying I'm going to mark these hoses so that I can always set them up and use the same lever for the same function on the grinder. So I've already released the hydraulic pressure by wiggling my hydraulic controls. Now I just get the button pushed on each one so they'll click in. But if you label these and you know that the second lever forward swings the grinder side to side, that makes it a lot easier. Whereas now, if I don't have it in a way that feels intuitive, I'll need to come back here and switch these. I know there's a tool for relieving that hydraulic pressure. A lot of times I just smack it on something. Now, as I put these pins in the sway links, I want the grinder centered. Well, I was thinking that the only thing I had left to do was strap the machine down, but that's not true. It's been a while since I bid this stump. I don't think I have to cut it down, but I don't remember for sure. So I need to take a chainsaw. I need to take my homemade deflector that keeps the chips from flying too far whenever I'm actually grinding. I need to make sure I have a wrench to change out teeth. I know I have extra teeth in the canister on the attachment. And then I'll need to stop and put diesel in the tractor, because I haven't done that because my 50-gallon diesel tank I think is about empty. So, a couple more things. My chip deflectors weigh about 100 pounds apiece, and they're all the way up in the equipment shed. So rather than carry them down, I decided to circle around the building and grab them. So that took an hour and 25 minutes, which includes a little bit of time for me being unorganized, to go find a grease gun, put a new tube of grease in it, go find the string trimmer and the WD-40, and move cameras around. So I'm gonna call it an hour and 15 minutes to get everything set up and ready to work. Let's get out there and see how long the job takes. just looking at it, I would say they have spent quite a bit of time burning this out. And it's not sticking up that far above ground level, so definitely saves me the time of cutting the top off with the chainsaw. Shouldn't be too bad. You can buy thin, lightweight versions of these. They're easier to set up, easier to move around, but I just used 3 hinges and 2 pieces of plywood and made my own for now. When I came to bid this, it was already cut down at ground level, but they spent a lot of time trying to burn it out, which mostly made it easier, but it caused a lot more dust to be thrown when I first started. As I come around to this camera angle, this is the view that the operator has as they are grinding the stump, which is why I like this Baumalight 3P24 stump grinder so much, because I have a great view of exactly what's happening with the cutting head as opposed to the fixed style of grinders that you have to turn and try to look behind you as you're driving the tractor. Now, those are so much more cost-effective to purchase that I don't know which one is the better choice for the average person, but I do like the visibility I get from this. If you're in the market to buy a stump grinder for your tractor and trying to decide, I think it really comes down to how often are you going to grind stumps, because you need to remove a lot to make up the price difference. Alright, so if I put this rake across here on each side, this is ground level, and we are 4, 5, 6 inches below ground level. I've got one piece of the tree root right here, one piece over there that are kind of outside the main circle, then one exposed root running right here. Sometimes that takes longer than the stump, but it's not too bad on this because there's just a couple of them. So I spent 50 minutes actually grinding out that stump and charged $200, and everyone's still gonna, I'm always, every time, no matter what I do, I never charge enough. But $200 for 50 minutes of work sounds like a winner, except that it's been 4 hours since I came out here to start this morning. Now, I stopped for probably 15 or 20 minutes to talk to a crew that was working on a project that I have an interest in. And I sat down and talked to the homeowners after I was done with that job, and I messed with the cameras. So really, just at a normal rate of work, it should have taken about 3 hours, which means you're getting like $68 an hour for all of my time today. And you factor in depreciation and everything you need to factor in. I'm probably being paid $25 an hour for my time, and it is what it is. I want to continue to build into better paying jobs, but I'm pretty happy to do what I am right now. I'm not gonna disconnect the trailer because I'm actually gonna load my lawnmower on here and go mow a yard for somebody for $75. And counting the little bit of travel time and setup I'll have on that, I'm gonna make $60, $70 an hour for that, because it'll take about an hour. So I can figure $75 an hour really for this, because it's only 3 minutes away, and I'll have a $275 day. So I just thought I'd share what really goes into small jobs. And I've made 2 videos like this now. I may make another one in the future, I don't know. But I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. I'll put links on the screen to more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.